Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Nerd Club Podcast about these reviews, movies, and talk shit nerd shit. This is episode 336, and it is Clerks. Clerks review. Clerks. Good old Clerks review to kick off Cult Film Month.
Cult Film Month. Cult Month.
Cult Month.
Join my Cult Month.
Talking cults.
Cults.
Just in good time because Waco is on Netflix. And it's talking about that whole cult thing.
Burn bodies. Drink blood.
Drinking blood.
Drinking blood. Having a good old time drinking blood.
So what's the number one cult?
I don't know, but I was a Kool-Aid.
Reminds you of that Family Guy episode, huh? like Meg gets her first friend and she ends up being like in a cult.
How do we get on the cults? What are we doing? What are we doing
I
here?
think the title, man.
Oh my God. Sacrifice the dog.
Yeah, the dog's coming out in the back. All right. But yeah, no, this month we're covering cult movies. That means movies that when they came out were not popular. And then after, they seem to have, developed the cult following. We've discussed movies like Blade Runner, like
Blade Runner 2049. There's just something about Blade Runner.
I don't think we can say 2049's cult yet because, it just came out.
I mean, I think it will be.
Oh,
let's say it will be because, let's face it, anything with Blade Runner in the title is going to be an amazing movie but bombs at the box office. It's just how it goes.
Yeah, and also like Jennifer's Body, which ended up being pretty good as well.
Jennifer's Body was amazing.
Yeah.
Not just the body, the whole movie.
Not just the body, the whole movie. Yeah. So, we talked those, and man, it's gonna be cool. We by the way, reworking the list. We'll retell you guys so you guys don't stay out of the loop. We're doing Clerks today. Next week we do Eraserhead, and then the following week we do Repo the Genetic Opera, and then we do Showgirls. And our mini is The Thing. The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. That's really one of the biggest cult films too.
I'm kind of pissed at this choice though, Raul.
Yeah.
And that I had to subscribe to Cinemax.
What are you talking about?
For a 7-day free trial and then cancel that subscription real quick.
Yeah, good old quarantine free trials, huh?
I was like, where can I? Because I'm on Amazon. I'm like, Clerks? Nope. Go on Netflix. Clerks? Nope. I'm like, the fuck? And I go back to Amazon. It's like, oh, you can subscribe to Cinemax. And I'm like, you goddamn bastards.
You didn't check if there was anything else that we're going to watch that's on Cinemax that you could have kept the trial?
I mean, the Thing is on Cinemax, so I need to watch that real quick before my 7 days is up.
Oh, okay. I thought you canceled it already.
I did, but it gives you that 7 days still.
Oh, okay.
This is how I win. This is how I win.
Yeah, this is how I win. Yeah. I was watching Good Time today. I need to get Uncut Jeff. Uncut Jeff drops on Netflix on the 25th this month.
I'm currently watching Limitless.
Limitless.
I'm kind of
a lot of movies lately.
I'm watching a lot of weird shit.
Yeah, what's going on?
I don't know. I mean, I've been like, for some reason, I've been wanting to see Robert Downey Jr., although I am watching Robert De Niro and Limitless, but Robert Downey Jr. movies I'm totally watching that aren't Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm just going back to like before everything.
Watching quarantine, guys.
Yeah, I'm still going to work and shit. But Russell Crowe, I'm watching a lot of Russell Crowe movies. I'm absolutely loving Ridley Scott doing a bunch of romantic comedies for some reason.
The man who brought you Alien, Gladiator, Kingdom of Heaven.
I mean, I quite enjoyed that one, so who knows? And the other one being Matthew McConaughey. So I watched The Lincoln Lawyer, and that was stupendous.
Yeah. I watched Good Time today, of course, and I watched Rian Johnson's Knives Out.
I want to watch it. I need to watch that. That's one I need to get to.
Yeah, I mean, I will go ahead and send you the file if you want, because I have it. It was really good. It was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I it's not one of the best of last year, but it was pretty good. And I gotta say that I really did enjoy it. We're gonna finally talk Parasite tomorrow. for
Ooh,
patrons.
so good.
And then on Saturday that'll go up for you guys. The only reason this one's live today is because we missed it on Monday.
Oh, we need to be talking Alien 2 at some point.
This week, this week. I'm gonna watch that tomorrow because it's on HBO, so I'll watch that.
By the way, pretty amazing. Good job, Ridley Scott.
Yeah, good job on the
good job on Alien, Ridley Scott. If you haven't heard that before.
Yeah. It's not like it's not one of the biggest
sci-fi films ever made.
Right?
But maybe he wants a little pat on the back for his work in 1979.
Yeah. It's fantastic. But yeah, I've been watching so many movies, and it's crazy. It's like, usually you're not the one who, like, during non-podcast times you're not watching anything. And it's
I forget what I'm usually doing. I usually watch like television shows. So, and I've kind of I think there's still a few television shows I need to watch, but it's just like I feel like watching Russell Crowe today for some unknown reason. I don't know.
For some unknown reason, right? Some unknown reason.
I don't know. I was specifically looking for a Russell Crowe movie today and ended up at Limitless, which doesn't have any Russell Crowe. It just has Bradley Cooper and De Niro.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this, because this is, I think, you've been wanting to talk a Kevin Smith movie for a while, and you might just be surprised at my thoughts on this one. But let's go ahead and get into it, because it is your pick. So, if you have not watched Clerks, this is a good time to get out of the video, get out of the podcast, whatever it is.
Before you go into that, we have a comment from Eden956.
Eden956 says, I like the first two Alien movies, the rest meh. I believe that is Alien and Aliens, right?
Yes.
Alien 3.
I mean, I really haven't watched the Alien movies other than Alien versus Predator, and that was horrible. Yeah. That was bad.
Guilty. I'm guilty of loving Alien versus Predator.
It was bad.
I'm so guilty of that. Aliens, I think it's all right. I love Alien, the first one. Alien 3, look, Fincher even admits it, that he just did not have the right tools to do it because the studio kept interfering. So I can't fault him for Alien 3. AVP, I'm guilty of loving AVP. That's just me. And I know that they did another one, AVP Requiem. I've never seen Requiem. I absolutely adore Prometheus, and I think that what's his name, Covenant is all right. Covenant is all right, but Prometheus, I love Prometheus.
I think Prometheus is the prequel, right?
Yes, and really,
I've never seen that.
I really do enjoy Prometheus, but yeah, it's I get it. I get why some people don't enjoy those and don't enjoy it. I know why people don't enjoy Alien 3, and I don't enjoy it either. I just don't fault Fincher for that, because the studio just kept interfering. So, it's really hard to make the movie you want when you have somebody breathing in the back of your neck to do this and do that. Do that.
Too many hands in the cookie jar, as they say.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Too many hands in the cookie jar. Too many hands in the Pringles jar, right, Brad?
It's stuck.
All right. So, if you have not watched Clerks, then let's go ahead and get into this. And this will be your chance to get out of here before it gets spoiled for you. But if you don't care, then you can keep watching and listening. Either way, we appreciate whatever you're doing here. So, without further ado, spoiler warning is in effect in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go ahead and introduce them to Clerks, 1994.
All right, Raul, coming from our main source of anything and everything, Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
It's never wrong. Clerks is a 1994 American independent black and white buddy comedy film written, directed, and co-produced by Kevin Smith, starring Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson. It presents a day in the lives of titular store clerks Dante Hicks and Randall Graves, along with their acquaintances. Clerks is the first of Smith's View Askew universe films and introduces several recurring characters, notably Jay and Silent Bob, of course. Clerks was shot for $27,575 in the convenience and video stores where director Smith worked in real life. Upon its theatrical release, the film received generally positive reviews and grossed over $3 million in theaters, launching Smith's career. The film is considered a landmark in independent filmmaking and in 2019 was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress, who deemed it culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant.
Yep. One of my favorite stories about this movie is just why it's black and white. Because
it's cheap.
Yep.
And you can tell it was made cheaply because it's very grainy. Like the whole film. Very grainy.
That had to be like really cheap 16 millimeter.
Oh, and
35.
And then the whole cast is just people Kevin Smith knew. He was calling up people just to come over. And he was going to these different, like the funeral home and all that. He knew people there. So he was able just to like film in front of it.
Yeah, so not really guerrilla filmmaking, but you know, it's still that form of independent where you can get it.
And there's another story behind this that I've heard from Kevin Smith of how he got part of the funding was that they had, I believe it was a hurricane that caused a flood and it basically ruined one of his vehicles. And so he got the money from that for his car and ended up helping fund the part of this movie.
That's amazing.
It's kind of funny and fantastic how this movie got to be made. And I think that's part of the story behind this movie too, is that this is one of those movies that you don't know how it was made, but you're really glad the story behind it, how it was made.
Of course.
It's kind of like, I mean, it's no Robert Rodriguez donating plasma and blood.
Yep. Donating plasma just to make his movie.
Yeah, and making it for $7,000, but you know, it's I mean, 27,575, and then it going on to a box office of 3.2 million.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and this is whole Kevin Smith's whole career and how it got started is he makes cheap movies and does pretty all right at the box office.
Yeah, I think the same thing could be said for Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. It didn't really cost that much, but then again, quality you got in 94 compared to quality you get in 2019. In 2019, it's very, very different.
Are you talking about visually or like the whole
visually?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, visually and audio. Because you know, there's still not there's audio's not as clean as it should be, but it's not terrible audio. Yeah. I am a really big sucker. As I told you, I don't think there's a lot of movies these days where they just capture the day in the life of a person, just a single day in the life. We don't get much slice of life movies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for that reason, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I think it was all right. I think it's a really good one to start with. I'm just fascinated by those type of movies where it just shows the day in the life of somebody.
And very cool, and it's like one of those days in life where Dante wasn't even supposed to be there, so it makes it even better. And it introduces you to this cast of characters that because of this movie, we get to learn basically through my whole life of these characters. I mean, Jay and Silent Bob, I've been knowing about Jay and Silent Bob since probably 1994. So, but I just want to bring up one of the best parts of this movie that I absolutely love. And I think I have to credit Kevin Smith for getting me into Quentin Tarantino movies. Because I'm very positive I watched Kevin Smith movies before I ever watched a Tarantino movie, is the dialogue.
Oh.
This movie is just quick, fast-paced dialogue. It's them having funny stories, funny quips, and so Tarantino-esque. And what's funny is Kevin Smith and Tarantino, they're basically in the same time frame coming up as directors. We have Reservoir Dogs in 1992, which kind of introduces the world of Tarantino. And then we get the introduction Kevin Smith in 1994, both big dialogue directors.
And then 1995, Pulp Fiction. The thing is that I think that we don't really get that dialogue of Tarantino until Pulp Fiction, because what's it called? I think that Reservoir Dogs is really more focused on the plot of it all. With the dialogue doesn't really advance the plot that much.
Other than the diner scene, I agree with you.
Yeah,
the diner scene is the dialogue.
We don't get the trademark dialogue of Tarantino until we watch Pulp Fiction. And I agree with you. I think that this film is very resonant of that Tarantino-esque dialogue, very fast-paced, but it's also revealing a lot of things in it. So if you're not paying attention, you're also kind of missing out on things that are being said about the person's life.
Mm-hmm. And I think another thing that's been Kevin Smith's go-to within his dialogue, which we don't see as much in a Tarantino or anyone else, any other director who relies on dialogue, is he brings up a lot of sexual aspects. Like there is a lot of sex that is, discussed in this film in different and varying ways, and in ways that may or may not be discussed in future. Like necrophilia comes up at the end of this movie, so kind of weird.
It's also how what's the word I'm trying to find here? How nonchalantly it gets brought up. Like they were just sitting down on the floor talking about it, and it was just being brought up just like that. Like there's no shame in bringing it up, and it's very relaxed, very nonchalant, and
it's very 90s.
Yeah,
very 90s indeed. But I mean that's just, if you kind of listen to it, that's just how dudes really talk. It's funny. A lot of this is kind of dudes, like the whole Star Wars aspect that they bring up. It's one of the most famous kind of dialogues ever. It's
conversations we have off air.
Exactly.
It's literally how people talk. It's like no way that it's not resonant of the actual conversations that people have at a video store.
It's kind of like the day in life of nerds. If we just all hung out and just podcasted.
And I love the music, the Chewbacca song in the back when that's happening, and Berserker.
And there's funny slight moments in this. Like if you take your eyes off and you don't see it, then you've missed something really big that's about to go down in the future. Like when Randall is just nonchalantly selling cigarettes to the 4-year-old.
He then gets fined for that.
And then Dante gets fined $500, and Randall's like, "Why aren't you mad?" He's like, "I just saw my ex, and yeah,
man,
it's all good. It's all good, bro."
It's great, man. And I love how, like, what's it called, Jay and Silent Bob are in the back, and like, Silent Bob is just not talking at all until the very
except the very end with one of the best quotes in the entire movie.
Not a lot of people bring you lasagna.
Yeah. Mostly they just cheat on you.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I love the way the movie kind of advances itself. It's like I said, it's nothing that it's not a style that gets shown a lot these days. Not a lot of movies do this type of thing anymore, and it sucks because people. I'll give you another slice of life film. The Florida Project from Sean Baker is really good. Tangerine as well, really good. They're very much slice of life, and we don't get those movies anymore these days. I don't know why. I guess just people aren't really interested anymore in what goes on in the day. They want to see, action based, films.
These big stupendous films where I really think that these films, The Day in the Life, can be far more interesting. It's been proven time and again. This is one of those films that proves it. I mean, even just going on the roof and playing hockey, and then one of the customers gets mad, gets up there, and then hits the ball off into the gutter. I mean, it's just stuff like that you wouldn't. I think this just proves Kevin Smith has a really, at least at this time, had a really great sense of how to write. I really think he's a great screenwriter in this sense, and I really think that shows in Clerks. I mean, it's not polished at all, which it's very raw, it's very real, which I think helps it in ways, but it's definitely not polished.
Yeah, I would even make an argument. I think that the script is really polished. It's the people who are delivering the lines that make it a little bit difficult.
That could be it too, because they're not trained actors.
Exactly.
They're just his friends. They really are.
So I think that the script is brilliant. I just think that the people who are delivering the lines, aren't doing the job that a professional actor would be doing.
And even though they're, you can tell sometimes they miss their mark. Sometimes they miss what they're supposed to say. They catch it. So it makes it kind of seem even more lifelike. But I really enjoy Randall and Dante. I mean, even though they weren't like big acting names or even actors at all, I think they really came across as being great characters. And I know the Jay and Silent Bobs became cult famous, but I would love to see even more Dante and Randall movies, which we get in Clerks 2, and
Eventually, we'll get Clerks 3 because I believe the script is done.
yeah, we're getting a Mallrats 2, which was done in quarantine. So Kevin Smith has been smoking a lot of pot and writing a lot of stories.
Yeah, man. What's it called? What was I gonna say? Yeah, he wrote his King Lear, right? His King Lear, because Shakespeare wrote Lear in quarantine. So and you see how many Lears come out. But yeah, I really do enjoy this film. I think that this was fun. I definitely understand why it be preserved. This is a landmark of independent filmmaking. I think that this really shows what happens when you just have the people who support you around and want to be involved in your movie, and what happens when you have a cheap route to go and you just make the movie because you want to make it.
And also, I think even just him getting in to the National Archives with this movie, that just shows the support of the fans, because even the National Archives said the reason this movie even got in is because it got so many nominations from fans just writing in, me being one of them, that it was I literally read on the internet that it was like the last day to send in the movies, and I'm like, I want Clerks. I want Kevin Smith to be in the archives, and it happened. And I think it's deserving. I think you're right. This, and I think Robert Rodriguez's
Mariachi.
I think they deserve to be in the National Registry. They deserve, because who the hell can make a movie for $7,000, and who the hell can make a movie for $27,000, and then go on to have such amazing careers? It's crazy.
I want to see which ones are on here, because there's a lot of movies that are on in the film list. Just watched Girlfriends and Somebody Last Waltz. My Name is Jonah. And You Left. I'm trying to see is there any these are all just ones that were put in like throughout the years. I want to see if El Mariachi is in here, because it should be 100%. It should be. Brokeback Mountain's in here. Damn.
I will say, when people watch this, though, this movie does have some dialogue that that doesn't sit well nowadays, but this was the 90s.
It was acceptable in the 90s. And when I tell you it's 94, it's 100% 94.
It's so 90s. It just the grunge aesthetic, everything about it, and it's very Jersey.
Oh, 100%. The whole action was just pouring out of the screen. I love that accent. I love it. It's so much fun. It's a great accent, man. I love it.
And I think that's why I enjoy Kevin Smith movies. It's like behind it all, it's just really fun. I think it's like Kevin Smith he's basically playing with these actors who he considers action figures. He's just a nerd playing with his action figures, basically, as a director.
So I give Clerks a 6.5 out of 10. It's pretty good. I think that this is just not the best that Kevin Smith has done, and this is really him starting off. But I respect him a lot because of what he does with just wanting to make movies. He just wants to make them.
I mean, if we want to talk about the best, we would go to such lengths like Dogma. Yeah. Dogma being amazing.
And Mariachi is in the Library of Congress.
Oh, there you go. Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Most deservedly, because who the hell can make a movie for $7,000? Jesus.
Donate plasma, bro.
Donate your plasma. Make a movie. I think I'm going to give Clerks. Clerks is an amazing movie. I think it's a very foundational one that got me into Tarantino. It sits right there in my heart, and it just showed me the world of Kevin Smith and allowed me to see that not all directors have to be giant assholes and dicks.
No. Sometimes they can just be that.
I mean, about 80% of directors are probably assholes and dicks, but you still have that few like Kevin Smith who are just beloved by fans just because he is truly and authentically a good guy.
He's just a good guy, man. He's what's called good guy, raises a good family. He's a good person.
So I'll go ahead and give this an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely not perfect. It's not polished. You don't have actual actors doing these roles, at least not at this stage. They're actual actors. But I think for what it is, it's a labor of love. It's one of those movies. Again, it's funny. We watch a bunch of movies that on paper shouldn't work. Like they
Yeah.
literally, like none of this should work.
No,
And
my
at
dad,
the end of it, you get something great.
yeah, mariachi should not work, and somehow it does. And it goes to show when you really want to make your movie, when you really, really do want to, you will find a way to make it. And it really shows that, even $7,000 can get you a lot. Especially now in 2020. $7,000 in 2020?
Shit, you can get a pretty damn good camera and go out.
Yep. Gets you a pretty good DSLR, pretty good audio setup, some good lights, and boom, just take it out in there, make your movie.
Or start a podcast.
Or start a podcast, yeah. Or
you can start a podcast for free, basically.
You can start a podcast with 2,000. Use the other 5,000 for like other just stuff that you don't really need.
You don't even need 2,000. I mean, if you want to make a decent podcast, for sure. But starting out, just need a phone.
Pretty much, yeah. We got another comment.
Oh. Thank you, Eden.
Thank you, Eden956. What movie do you think needs a sequel that hasn't gotten one? My answer would, if you would have asked me this in 2016, 2017, I would have told you Blade Runner, 100%.
That happened.
That's a really loaded question, but since they are being very, talkative today, I want to go ahead and answer this before we go. I would honestly say that, God, man, you might. I'm gonna go and give this to you, man. I'm gonna go ahead and check my letterbox to see if I have anything that hasn't been made into a sequel yet.
You know what I'm gonna go with?
What?
It's a recent one we just watched. I'm gonna go with District 9. I want to see District 10. Damn it! It's not needed. It's totally unnecessary. But I would love to still see a District 10 and see how they would progress the story. Or if they would do a prequel.
I 100% understand why you would want that. I think that would work really well. I'm telling you, a prequel, a sequel. I want more of that world of.
Or give me Hellboy 3 from Guillermo del Toro.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm still checking here, man. I really want to say a good one because I know that there's a lot of movies that I think deserve a sequel that just never got that treatment because what's it called? Studios are different. This is what I love about being live. You just hit us with questions that we definitely I'm prepared for here.
Have you ever seen Appaloosa?
The hell is that?
It's a Western with Ed Harris and Viggo Mortensen. And it's one of the funniest Westerns I think ever made.
Yeah.
But I would be okay with a sequel for that. Just for those two characters alone. And it's Ed Harris. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, here's my cop out, which is the easiest because we don't know whether the sequel is going to happen or not. Now with everything that's going on in the world, Mad Max Fury Road, that 100% deserves that sequel, and I think it will happen. It's a matter of time when it's going to happen.
Well, is Mad Max Fury Road a sequel in itself though? Because you had Mad Max.
Yeah, but Mad Max Fury Road is supposed to be like a reboot, isn't it?
I guess it's one of those like. Is it or isn't it an actual? But I'll give it to you. I'll give you that cop out.
Eden956, how about you answer that for us? Does Mad Max Fury Road count as a sequel itself? But yeah, I mean that one, or I think that a continuation of Django Unchained would be interesting.
That's a good one. You'll never see that because Tarantino's only making 10 movies.
Yeah, so of course, apparently he's only making 10 movies. But yeah, a continuation of Django, or hell, man, I think that an I Am Legend 2, yes, an I Am Legend 2 would have been great. With Will Smith.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Kill Bill 3.
Kill Bill 3, of course.
That one they're always talking about.
And that does count as a sequel because Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2 technically one movie.
The whole bloody affair. I have a big poster that says
yep.
So.
Yeah, so I think an I Am Legend 2 would have worked really well. And yeah, I think thank you for that question. But I mean, answer us like I said. Does Mad Max Fury Road count as a sequel, or does it count more of a reboot? I think it's more of a reboot.
I mean, but if you look at, then you have to look at Blade Runner 2049. That's technically a sequel, but it is a reboot.
Do any of the original characters of Mad Max come out in Mad Max Fury Road?
Okay.
Deckard comes out in 19.
Yeah, that's true. So that does technically mean a sequel. And then Eden 956 has never seen Fury Road.
Eden 956, you need to watch Mad Max Fury Road. One of the greatest movies of the last decade. Some of the most stunning visual effects ever. That movie is amazing to me. It's incredible. You should 100% watch Mad Max Fury Road. I plead you to please do that because it's an incredible movie. But here, I'm just gonna check. Produced George Miller, Nikolai, whatever. The fourth installment and a revisiting of the Mad Max films. So, I technically it's a reboot because it's a revisiting, but yeah, it's really difficult waters, man. I don't know. But yeah, I hope a sequel to Mad Max Fury Road comes out because I love that movie a lot. But yeah, no, of course, thank you all for coming over.
I have one. Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Yeah. I don't know if Edgar Wright would do that, dude.
Do it.
Yeah.
What movie didn't need a sequel? I'll
tell you right now.
Incredibles 2.
Incredibles 2.
Didn't need it.
Reincarnate.
Incredibles 2. I didn't need to wait 14 years just to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Venom.
Well,
technically Venom doesn't have one yet. I mean, it's coming and it has a horrible title when they could have used Maximum Carnage for Christ's sake.
Yeah. What's that one called?
I think the more important question is what sequel totally ruined the taste for the original.
That's a difficult question. That's very loaded. That would be great for the live show, and you can come back and talk to us on that. Eden 956 on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can bring up that question. I would tell you.
Although, did you know there was a Human Centipede 3?
No,
I don't know why there was a 1 or 2 either.
No. There is a sequel to Ingmar Bergman's Scenes from a Marriage, which I think should not have happened at all. Because I think Scenes from a Marriage is incredible. It's his best movie. I don't think you really need to continue on with that story. But yeah, no, that did not need a sequel. But thank you all so much for stopping by. As always, I'm going to go ahead and drop it in there for you guys to go and look at that. But Patreon is where you'll find the Alien review. And you just need to pay $2 a month and you get that. We are completely appreciative of all monetary support that you throw our way. It's okay if you can, and it's okay if you do. So www.patreon.com/nerdcore for all those wonderful things. And if you want to send a one-time donation, that's also appreciated too at streamlabs.com/nerdcore. And you could go to that stuff and work with that. Whatever you guys want to do with that. Nerdcore.com for all written reviews and stuff like that. You guys want to go and do that. Want to go and read all those wonderful reviews we make there. I wrote up a pretty good piece. I'm pretty proud of that piece on Cinema Paradiso. So you guys should go read it. You guys can read. Go and read it, please.
Or listen to the episode. We covered that.
I cannot remember the number for that. I've lost track. All I know, that one has to be to 200s.
I mean, you could just Google the Nerdcore Cinema Paradiso. It should pop up.
I want to try that out. But yeah, Twitter.com, Twitter, you can find us at the Nerdcore _ and then Instagram Nerdcore without the underscore. I'm sorry. You can also, find us here every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we're going to be coming back to you guys for the patrons on tomorrow, on Thursday, for the Parasite review, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for live show. And you guys will just come and hang out with us. So make sure you leave a drop a follow on the Twitch channel, drop a subscribe and a like on the video on the YouTube channel if you can. We really do appreciate that. And a rate and review on your podcast app of choice to really help us out. That's honestly the best way you can help us out. So by dropping those reviews, those likes, and those subs, it really, really does help us out here.
Yeah, go on iTunes and give us 5 stars because
yeah, because we deserve it, right?
We need it. We needs it.
Yep, for sure. We also want to shout out the wonderful people who help us out, make these shows possible. Our producers. We have associate producers, Cassie and Sarah. We also have executive producers. We have Mr. Grayson Barker, who pledges $15 a month for his executive producer role. And you can find him at Grayson Barker 98 on Instagram, Warlord One Bar on Twitter. And we also have Shane, who pledges $15 a month. Where can they find him?
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/SWRKK or at SWRKK Twitch. Catch him this Friday for Free for All Friday. And go follow basically one of our favorite streamers other than Nikki.
Yeah, man. I searched it up. The Nerdcore podcast, Cinema Paradiso, and it did not come up. So you dirty liar.
You don't know how to Google.
You don't know how to Google. All right. We have the $25 tier members who are executive producers as well. We have Bryce, Brown Rice 1996 on Instagram and Twitter. And then we have Tony at Real Nerdy Dad.
Tony.
So thank you all so much for our producers who make the show happen. And we will see you all tomorrow for patrons to talk about Parasite. And then you guys can watch that listen to that on Saturday. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and send them out.
All right, Raul. Thank you for actually. I think I found it. Episode 112, Cutting Room Kisses.
Oh yeah, that's got it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
all right, you're welcome.
Did I go wrong or what?
You're welcome, and I Googled it. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. We appreciate each and every one of our patrons. Thank you all again. We'll be returning tomorrow to discuss. What are we discussing?
Parasite.
Is that only for our Patreons?
No. It's for patrons tomorrow for the live, but it goes up on Saturday for everybody for Saturday morning reviews.
All right, can't wait for that one. That is a great movie. What time zone are we in? Actually, so we got another question from Eden956. That is a difficult question.
Okay, so I am Central, and then the man on my right is what's that one? I can't remember.
Arizona Mountain Standard Time.
I don't know.
Like we don't believe in daylight savings time.
Yeah. So we will be live on Friday. For patrons tomorrow, it will be at 8:30 Central Standard Time, which is 6:30 East Western Time. Pacific Time. I'm sorry.
I'm just kind of confused right now. Maybe you need to restart that.
6:30 Pacific Time, 8:30 Central Time, and 9:30 Eastern. 7:30 for Mountain. So do that as you will. If you are subscribed to the YouTube, it gives you a 30-minute notification before we go live. And if you follow our Twitter, we update
We'll send it out when we're getting on.
Yeah, we send it out. But yeah, just keep an eye out, and you can come back and talk with us. But yeah, finish sending them out, bro.
All right. Specific thank you to Eden956 for all your questions and comments. And I guess to end this, I will just say the worst sequels are probably any Final Destination after the first one, because then it's not Final Destination anymore. It's just weird and confusing to me. And and now I got to leave. Young Yoda out.